home tonight. Hey, this is Cinthie and welcome to Studio Digest. Come in. This is my studio, which I'm very proud of. Apart from the gear which is here, I also have half of my record collection in here. I've been running out of space at home, so it's also sometimes nice to get a bit of inspiration. I worked in a record store in 1995, so they didn't pay me money, but they paid me in records. This is when I started collecting records and also built my own record collection. Super proud of this collection, but honestly, I should clean it up a little bit because I think there's records in the wrong sleeves. A few years back I posted a picture of the studio, and when you take a picture from on top of the gear, it looks like it has no entrance, and there's like really rumors going around how I'm entering the room. I said I'm doing it like, what's his name again, from Mission Impossible, like Tom Cruise. The center of everything is here with my computer, so I record everything into Ableton, but everything is set up. A few things are on the patch bay, so I have to change the cables. The shelf in the back is my bass station. I mean, I even have a Novation bass station. Yeah, but these things are really good for bass lines. Like the Moog Grandmother is the latest piece of gear I got. Monopoly is also from Behringer. Then I have here the Korg Op6, also really nice. And yeah, the Novation bass station, and then a really old school keyboard, the Casio CZ101. So I bought this book a while ago and it's really good. It's kind of basic, but it's really good to like go through everything, every different parts a synthesizer has. And I think this is how you learn to create your own sound. So the shelf behind me now, it's like loads of keyboards. I'm a big Roland fan anyway, so of course this is also one of my favorites, the good old D50, one of the best linear synthesizers ever made. ESQ1, also like really old school, nice for house, and Juno 106 is another classic from Roland, also really nice for bass lines and chords and pads, and I think you can hear it in a lot of productions. Okay, so here we have a few like MIDI interfaces. Then we have two Moogs. The Pro one is really nice, also from Behringer. Then this one is a really old classic as well, the Oberheim Matrix 1000. Also used in a lot of 90s productions. I love this one. I got it from a friend. He made loads of music in the 90s, and then he said, oh, I have so much stuff in my cellar. Don't you want to have it? So he gave me this. Then also he gave me the Juno 106. We have the push. When I do a track or start creating a track, I usually start jamming a little bit with the push because you can mute the channels. You can, for example, play with the filter, and it's a bit nicer than just moving the mouse around. So you're actually like making music and not reading your emails and replying. This modular, it's nice because I got it from a friend. Yeah, he sometimes brings me like new stuff and he's like, okay, I'll leave it here for a bit and you try it out, and then I return it to him. But it's really nice, it's cool. You can make really nice chords. Also you can choose between different banks. Then of course you have an envelope here. Also you have the filter here, so you can emulate the stuff. Yeah, I think when you're making music, it's always nice to get a bit of like new input. You discover new things, and it's also like stimulating your brain and just finding new stuff to do. Look what I got. I just picked this up from Reverb. It's the famous Zen delay. Always wanted to have one. Let's take this one out. It's really nice. Oh my God, look at this. It's very cute. Let's try plug it in. So this is actually my favorite rack because I put a small selection together of all the gear I need to make the kind of sound I want, which is obviously house music. So we have the classic 909 for drums, we have the old lady, the 808, I have a 707, then another Casio RZ1, famous 303. Unfortunately, it's just a clone, better than not having a 303. So usually when I switch this one on, I program a quick rhythm and then put the shuffle on and it starts to have a nice groove. Then usually I'm also getting into the groove myself. Yeah, I would say this is like the piece of gear I know inside out, and I'm also talking to it sometimes. Yeah, it's really nice. Although this has like a really nice sound, a really nice original sound, of course, not everyone can afford it. But I think if you really want to get into this kind of like programming a drum machine, how does it sound, how can we use it? I think there are also a lot of companies that do replicates. For example, Roland has a few. I think they even made a boutique 909, which is quite nice. I mean, for me, making music is so much fun, and yeah, of course I don't need all this. I could also do it in the computer. Ableton has a lot of good gear, good tools. Yeah, but it's just fun, you know. Sometimes I'm sitting there fiddling around, just like working on how to create a certain kind of sound, and then I check my watch and it's like in the evening, like, wow, okay, where has this day gone? And yeah, so it's so much fun, and yeah, I'm really proud of this. A typical day in the studio starts with practicing piano. I practice a little bit like for half an hour, then I switch on the machines I think I need. Usually I start with the 909, and at the moment I love old school house and piano chords, so this is what I'm doing most of the time. I think the studio reflects a little bit my personality, because I think I'm personally a very warm person, and I think when you enter the room it's a really warm room. It's kind of organized, but the corners are also not so organized. Yeah, it's pretty much like me. It's like most of the time I'm organized, but then also you need a little bit of chaos to be creative. If you want to make music, I think you should just try it, because you never try, you never know. I would recommend to start small. For example, get a nice digital audio workstation. I would recommend maybe Ableton, for example, because you get super quick to a result. And I think if you start new things, it's very important that you get your result very quick. Otherwise you're frustrated, and then you might stop. Start with a laptop, get a nice MIDI keyboard, and you think you're pretty much good to go. And then I think you can always upgrade from there. Much better than buying so much gear and then you're frustrated and you have to sell everything. Like, rather start slow and then upgrade. Don't think this is an easy process. You pretty much have to do it every day for a couple of hours to get better. And but I think it's definitely worth it, because yeah, so much joy, so much fun. And then also when you play your own tracks in the club and you see people like, yeah, this is like the best track I ever heard. It's like